WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. In studio with us today, Clinton Police Chief Ben Lowers. Good morning, Chief. Happy holidays.
Good morning, Seth, and same to you.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate you making time for us as always. And sounds like we could get a little bit of snow this afternoon.
Hey, I think I counted like 7 flurries between town and here.
Yeah?
And so, yeah, there are some snow flurries blowing around out there. So.
And you mean to tell me Mr. Goebel hasn't talked to you about potentially
You know
calling
what?
off school?
We have got to get him broke to lead.
We really
do. We were just getting Mr. Nettles right where we wanted him, and then he retired. It's time to start working on Mr. Goebel. You know what? I'm not sure. I'm going to have to reach out to him and test his sense of humor, because I did. I can't remember if I tagged him or I sent him a text there a week or so ago when we got a little skip to snow, and I didn't get a response. So I'm going to have to reach out to him. Maybe we need to set up a meeting or something.
Yeah.
Just having to break in a whole new superintendent, but we'll work on that.
I mean, we got so used to Mr. Nettles and the way he operated. We're going to have to revisit how we went about it with him.
I did get a message from him. So.
Oh, did you really?
Oh, yes. He's still poking the bear in retirement. So
that's amazing.
Yeah. So.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Hey, I know. Speaking of schools, or the superintendent and schools and all that stuff, I understand it's kind of a busy week for the department in the school district.
It is. Officer Mayer, our school resource officer, who took over for the retired Officer Bennett. This is his second year in the schools. This week he is doing the awareness program, the awareness commonly referred to or known as the self-defense program at the junior high level. And so I believe, today's Wednesday, yesterday he had the lecture through yesterday's classes. He gave the day one of the lecture, talking about situational awareness, trying to avoid putting yourself in a position to become a likely victim and whatnot. That's to me, that's probably one of the most beneficial aspects of the program, is the discussion of mindset, mental awareness, and situational awareness. That happened yesterday. Today, they're working on some actual self-defense techniques. And then tomorrow, they bring that all together, where the school district and the police department purchased 2, I don't remember what brand they are, but we refer to them commonly as the fight suit. It's the big padded suit. And in years past, I think each of the building administrators have taken their turn. The superintendents have taken their turn. For some reason, Officer Mayer told me he was having trouble getting someone to be available for that. And so I have stepped up, regrettably so, I think. And tomorrow, for the PE classes, the young ladies at the junior high will be carrying out in scenario-based training the techniques that they've learned the last 2 days. I'll be in the fight suit and taking a whipping from the junior high PE classes. So looking forward to that. However, I think it was the first year that Officer Bennett did it. He had Mr. Wayne in the fight suit, and by the end of the day, I mean, he looked like a rag doll, and that has been in my mind for the last few days after I committed to doing this. That maybe that was a mistake. I should have reached out to Mr. Wayne, but no, I'm looking forward to that. I think it's a very valuable program within the school district. I don't know how. I'm going to say going on 8 years, maybe 6, 8 years, every bit of that probably, that we've been teaching this in the school district. I think it's been very well received by the PE curriculum and by the students alike. So looking forward to that. I know it's a lot of fun for them. I don't know how much fun it's going to be for me. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm afraid that might wear out real fast.
I see. Gotcha. Now, you talked about that self-defense curriculum. What are some of the lessons these kids are learning?
Well, as I said, and really I should let Officer Mayer speak on that, but I know day one is lecture, and it really is all about situational awareness, being aware of your surroundings, following that gut instinct, and making choices and making decisions to at least minimize the likelihood of being in a position to become a victim. When you're out in public, when you're at that convenience store or pumping gas, when you're shopping at a shopping center, things like that, just always being on point, always being aware of your surroundings, always having a plan. And so I think that is the mind stimulating portion of the training that to me is quite frankly the most valuable. We ask our officers to do that all of the time. When you're driving around, think about, if this went down at this location, how am I going to get there? How am I going to approach? What am I going to do? And so I think that's one of the best things that you can do as an individual. And for us, it's really just mind provoking. We're trying to put them in a position where they'll think about those things and start to look at, their own safety a little bit differently and put some focus into that. So that's day one. Day two, they focus on they're taught different escape techniques. They're taught strikes, where to strike, how to strike, for your own safety and to be effective. And so they are then going to take that tomorrow and add that with some one-on-one and even two-on-one situations where, again, myself or whoever in that padded suit where they can then carry out those exercises that they've learned.
Sure. A lot of people may say, Chief, why do our kids need to know this? It's Clinton, Illinois. We're not Chicago, Bloomington, where you've got some of these issues.
And that is something, I have not been there yet this week to hear Officer Mayer, but I remember Officer Bennett talking about, we teach this junior high and high school level because, Clinton, Illinois is not always the safest place either. I mean, we don't deal with a lot of the big city things on a regular basis, but you never know. I mean, we have people travel through town. We have convenience stores, we have shopping centers. Our society is not the safest it's ever been by any means. But in addition to that, I mean, how many times do these kids, when they get their driver's license, they go to Champaign shopping, Bloomington shopping, Decatur? They go to the movie theater, they do those kind of things. Let alone they graduate from high school, they go to the military, they go to college, they go to larger cities and stuff. We also don't want them to grow up in a bubble and think that the entire world is just like the bubble they grew up in, and so we want to introduce them to those things. And again, we want to, it's thought provoking of your own safety. They may be able to teach their parents something, or likewise their younger siblings and their friends and things like that. So we do think that it's a very valuable program.
Very good.
And you know what? As much as anything today is, when you're walking down, you talked about just recently being in Chicago, they go up there on a shopping trip or a school trip or whatever. Get your head out of that phone and know what's around you. That is such a factor today. I mean, walk down a busy street and look at how many people are looking around and have their head on a swivel to what's going on around them,
Yeah.
And so we talk about distracted driving all the time. For crying out loud, let's talk about distracted walking, or just being distracted or caught up into something and not aware of your surroundings. So, I think it's a very good program. I think that it's been very well received by the district, and we hope to continue it for many years to come.
Sure, very good. Clinton Police Chief Ben Lauers in studio with us here this morning, our guest on the morning show. And, you talk about, Chief, just that situational awareness. Of course, the holidays are upon us. And, I know we talked in our last visit about, that Black Friday shopping, those hunters getting out for the shotgun and the archery seasons, being aware of their surroundings and, situational awareness there. Let's talk about holidays and holiday safety some more.
Absolutely. We talked about that, as you mentioned, we talked about that last month with the Black Friday type of stuff and the getting out and getting shopping. And by the way, I'm going to be in a cram this weekend to try to finish up my shopping. But, as we're kind of finishing up that shopping or maybe doing that last minute shopping, again, we want to be aware of our surroundings, especially if we're going to a large shopping center. Make sure you remember where you park. Try to park in a well-lit area in case that it's dark. We were in our short days now. You come outside. Maybe you went inside at noon, but when you come out, it's going to be dark. Try to park under some lights if you can. Know where you park. Know what time the place is closed. Make sure that you're prepared before you exit the building. Make sure you're prepared to get into that car so you're not standing out in the parking lot fumbling around looking for keys, digging through a purse, stuff, things of that nature. Make sure that you prepare your departure before you exit the building. Make sure that when you're going from place to place, if you can, conceal your merchandise inside your vehicle. Take a blanket, throw over the top of it. Don't advertise from the outside that you've got a brand new laptop computer in a box here that's visible through your backseat window or something like that. Try to conceal those things. We're going to carry that on to home. Now that we're kind of starting to wind down with our shopping, and especially on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, when those gifts are open and stuff, we ask you to not advertise what just arrived at your house. You know what I mean? That big screen TV, you might want to break that box down, turn it inside out, something before you put it out in your trash, especially smaller things like computers, gaming systems, things of that nature. We're also a lot of online shopping, a lot of packages being delivered today. If you have a camera system, that's fantastic. A camera system is great for us to catch the crime in progress, okay? That helps us after the fact. But let's focus on some things that you can do to avoid having to use that camera footage and supply it to us. If you have a camera, when those things are delivered, see if you can't get them immediately taken inside, whether a neighbor's looking out for you. I can tell you, have a very good relationship with my neighbor. And when I was out of town last weekend, hey, I'm expecting these packages. Can you keep an eye out for them? Here's access to my house. He set them inside for me. So those types of things, we don't want to be tracking down. We don't want you to lose those purchases, and we don't want to have to be trying to track them down. So beware of the porch pirates. As we get into the holidays, Christmas, New Year's, New Year's, one of the deadliest holidays of the year, along with the 4th of July and Memorial Day. A lot of celebration going on there. Going to hit those same things, make plans in advance and stick to those plans. Use a designated driver. Plan to stay where you intend to celebrate if that's a possibility. It's not just you on the road. You can't account for the condition of other drivers. A tremendous amount of drivers on the roadway after midnight may be impaired to some degree. Be cognizant of others around you and don't let others drink and drive. We will not be enforcing overnight parking on the square during New Year's Eve. And if you know someone that's intending to drive and you just can't seem to reason with them, by all means, stall them all you can and call the police. And I don't mean that from a standpoint of let us come arrest them. We don't work on commission. What we'd really rather do is stop an impaired driver from driving rather than to have to deal with the aftermath. If you can't seem to reason with them, don't hesitate to allow us the opportunity to help you try to mitigate that situation. We would much rather provide them a ride or make alternative arrangements for them, explain to them, the consequences if they do get behind the wheel. We don't have any problem trying to negotiate with them to avoid that. It's not just them on the road, and it's not just them putting themselves at risk. They're putting everyone at risk if they get behind the wheel when they're impaired. Okay? So don't hesitate to call us if we can be an assistance there. So again, New Year's Eve is among the deadliest holidays of the year as it relates to drunk driving. New Year's Day, between midnight and 5 a.m. is the most dangerous time of the year to be on the roadway, according to statistics. So, again, make those plans, make them in advance, make sure somebody knows your plans. Celebrate responsibly, and again, make it a holiday to remember of good memories.
Sure, very good. Well, Chief, with that, I'll tell you what, let's break here, come back with some more. Clinton Police Chief Ben Lauers in studio with us. More to come with the Chief on the morning show. WHOW.
Let's check the opening numbers now at the Chicago Board of Trade on this Wednesday. Jim Taylor, RFD Radio Network. Corn slightly higher, beans slightly lower, wheat trading higher. December corn opening 442 1/4, up 1 3/4. March corn up 1 1/2, 450 1/2. May corn 457 1/4, up 2 pennies. January beans starting the day down 3, 991 3/4. March beans down 2 1/4, 998. May beans 1007, down 2 1/4. March wheat is opening 567 3/4, up 6. May wheat up 6 1/2, 577. July wheat 583 1/4, up 6 1/4. January bean meal down 50 cents, 291.50. January bean oil 42.24, down 48 cents. Opening numbers at the Chicago Board of Trade on this Wednesday morning. Jim Taylor on the RFD Radio Network.
Baum Chevrolet Buick offers full transportation options while giving you peace of mind. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick here in Clinton. This is what we do every day. We listen to you, give you options for routine maintenance, major mechanical problems, or collision repairs with a staff that's knowledgeable to find the best option for you. Baum Chevrolet Buick, your full-service dealer. See us at bombchevybuick.com right from the start.
Allergy season is here, and our Warner Hospital and Health Services walk-in clinic inside our family medicine is here to help. No appointment, no problem. Find out more by clicking our icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Ramey Miller from Run Deep Coaching. Take your power back. I do holistic personal and business coaching. My service is virtual, so we can visit no matter where you are. Find out more by clicking my icon at DeWittDailyNews.com. That's DeWittDailyNews.com.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Clinton Police Chief Ben Lauer's in studio with us here for this morning. And Chief, as we chat, I know, it just feels like this is a conversation that pops up probably once a quarter with you, is staffing and the challenges going on there. What can you tell us?
It is. For the first time this spring and summer, for the first time in, I think, 4 years, we were full staffed, at least on paper. We had a couple young officers that went through the academy with us, and they were currently in field training, waiting, to be certified for their solo patrol. But before we can get too confident, we've had a couple that have transferred to other local area departments, and so that puts us down 2 officers. We've got a couple more that are at least pursuing employment with the state police, and they're in that process. So, we're back to the drawing board. We are open. We're testing for new hire candidates. Anybody that has an interest in law enforcement or serving their community. We have the open testing right now through the National Testing Network.
So what does that look like?
So, we used to, first I'll talk about how we used to do it, and it used to be common is we would have a meeting open to the public, and an orientation, and we'd have those folks come in, we'd explain to them the process, they'd come back on a different day and they would take a written test and take the physical test, then they'd come back on a different day and have an oral interview, and then the Police and Fire Commission would then rank those candidates in an order and provide us a higher eligibility list. And that is how the process works. That's how it's dictated by Illinois statute through the Police and Fire Commission manual. But we've simplified that now in our technological era, in which instead of having to come to an orientation, instead of having to come here to take a written test, that's available online now through the National Testing Network. You can find that information on our Facebook page. Basically, so what happens then is an applicant, a prospective candidate, can go online to the National Testing Network. They can fill out the application. They can take the written test at a area testing center, and then they can submit that. Now, they can not only submit it for our agency, but once they take that, there are numerous. I know the Sheriff's Department uses the National Testing Network. Once they fill out that application and complete that written test, they can then submit that to other agencies around that have open positions that are accepting applications. So you can go online. We open it up for a period of time to accommodate folks that might be in school, might be working, rather than having to come on one specific day. And so that is open. It's open till January 10th. That is the process for testing for new hires. And what we consider a new hire is someone with no previous experience. That's an entry-level position, no previous experience. The other option that we have is what's called a lateral transfer. Now, we can direct hire lateral transfers by simply applying to the police department. You contact our office, myself or Administrative Assistant Angie West, provide a application and a resume, and we can direct hire lateral transfers. A lateral transfer is someone who is already certified through the Illinois Law Enforcement Training and Standards Board. As we typically or commonly, we've had a couple officers leave. Those are certified officers who have left under lateral transfer to go to larger agencies, in particular Bloomington. We are looking for the same thing, lateral transfers. While we're not a large agency, we continually struggle with being a training ground. Guys or gals, excuse me, come and maybe go through the academy, put in a few years here, and then maybe step up to a Bloomington or a Springfield, Champaign, something of that nature. We're also looking for laterals. Two things. Maybe that person who has worked in that larger community, and I'd rather go to a community that's more community oriented, more community policing oriented, smaller town where I can get to understand, know the neighborhood, things of that nature. We're also looking for officers who have maybe become certified at a slightly smaller department. Not to mention any specifics, but there are departments in our area that are also slightly smaller than we are, and so Clinton would be a step up in size and also opportunity and also salary. So, we do have, in terms of the size of our community and the size of our department, we're very competitive when it comes to salary and benefits. And so if you've got that family member, if you yourself or you've got that family member that's maybe in law enforcement or considering law enforcement, by all means, reach out and give us a call. We'd love to chat with you. We're looking for good team members.
Very good. Well, Chief, with that, I got to let you go for the day. Again, happy holidays to you and yours.
You as well. Thank you.
That is Clinton Police Chief Ben Lowers in studio with us here this morning. The morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Network news comes your way next on the morning show. Of course, we stream live online all the time at DeWitt Daily News.